If I pray to God continuously to end my life, does God give me death? I found out a friend of mine has cancer and I was so jealous.
Oh my god!
I have asked for cancer countless times, but only other people get cancer instead of me. I'm jealous of your friend having cancer. That's rough. That's worse than where I'm at. I'll never pray for cancer. That sounds like a horrible way to go out. It's Maya back in the closet again. How y'all doing? Happy New Year. Today I learned that I'm just dumb. I unplugged the Wi-Fi to plug in my ring lights. And life is always a learning process. And then you die. Waiting for the Wi-Fi, waiting for the Wi-Fi, waiting for the Wi-Fi, waiting for the Wi-Fi. Please, please. It says connected. Why are you lying to me? Did I fuck it? What did I do? Depression, disgrace. That's not how the song actually goes. I don't know why I even typed into Google, I'm praying for death. Well, no, I do know. It's because I've been praying for death. There's no lie in that. I've been praying to die. Depression comes in all forms. It comes in this. It comes in this. It comes in me fucking dancing on a random day, you know? We have our highs and lows. I'm still here. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because of guilt. Love and guilt, a mixture of both. You know how they say love is not enough? It's not enough. That's not why I'm here solely. It's because of guilt. Guilt for hurting my loved ones. So yes, like I said, a mixture of love and guilt. But if it was solely just love, I mean, I guess you need to love the people to have the guilt. I think. That's my thought process here. I don't know, guys. I haven't been doing this in a while. I almost feel a bit weird talking to my phone all over again as if I'm being judged. But like, the funny part is I'm not judged until I post this on the internet. So, you know, I can just edit whatever the hell I want. Why am I scared? But yes, guilt. Guilt is, I think, the biggest player for me. Who wants to go out thinking about all the people that they've hurt, even though it's not my responsibility to be here. I didn't ask to be here. It was my mom who decided, you know, to bring me here. Well, my parents, you know. Women don't get pregnant on their own. Don't forget that, guys. Don't always blame pregnancy on the woman. She had to get impregnated by somebody. It starts with a man. That's all I'm saying. I find it weird that we feel so guilty for hurting the people who didn't think to not hurt us, even though our parents didn't think about hurting us before they brought us here. We're subject to a lot of hurt and pain on this planet. A lot. You might say, oh, you know, well, the good times outweigh the pain and the suffering. No, they don't. Nah. You know, okay, yeah, if you stubbed your toe, but then you got some ice cream afterwards, that might, you know, they might be a little on the same level. But if you were traumatized, you watched somebody get killed, you were raped, the worst of the worst, I don't think anything in life after that, like even finding love, is going to replace or heal that pain. Trauma, you don't heal trauma. You work through it. You know, you might get better at handling it. And some of us, we bury it. But I don't really think you ever just get rid of it. It's always going to be there. The horrible thoughts are going to be there. You can empower yourself and turn it into something else. You can rewire your mind or reframe it about how you think about these certain things. But at the end of the day, most of us wouldn't wish our trauma on anybody. And if you do, you're a horrible person, because I really don't think that suffering justifies happiness. Happiness is the absence of suffering. You can, you know, go in the comments and refute that if you want to, but that's how I feel. Happiness is just the absence of suffering. And suffering comes in many different forms. You know, everybody says life is hard, unless you had it pretty easy. But, you know, even rich people aren't happy. Even if you have it all, you can still want to not be here. You can still be unhappy. And they say, I guess happiness is a choice. Perhaps a delusional choice. I don't think there's anything wrong with coping because, as I've said, life is hard and a lot of us have our reasons, maybe few reasons for staying here. Life is hard. You know, most people will agree with that. Life is hard. But I don't know why you decide to then go and have kids. knowing full well that you've had a lot of miserable points in your life, probably more miserable than happy. And yeah, it's subjective. Some people are happy for most of their lives, but I feel like, you just have to get good at blocking out all the horrible things that happen to people. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with coping. Life sucks. It's hard. Do what you gotta do to get through it. A lot of people attempt suicide and they fail at it. So it's not as easy as just ending your life and, you're no longer here. 44 times more people attempted suicide than people who actually committed suicide in 2021. It's a lot harder than you think to just end yourself via pills or with a gun. So many things could go wrong. And then you end up even worse in life. So that's something else that, keeps me here. Keeps me sticking around. I don't like pain. Okay, if I fuck up and I end up stuck with that pain for the rest of my life because my attempts didn't go successfully, I'm just making my life worse. Number 3 is, I don't know what's on the other end. As a realist, most things point to nothingness. As how there was nothingness before I was born. I wasn't complaining then before I was born. I didn't desire anything before I was born. I wasn't missing out on anything before I was born. Euthanasia, I always pronounce things wrong, okay? I'm not really from here. But getting euthanized, it's considered empathetic to do that for animals, but we don't have any options available for humans, or very little for that matter. It's still controversial to euthanize a family member when, they've been a vegetable for years, and the doctors and medical professionals say nothing is going to turn around for them and they're going to be stuck in this state forever. But no, let's impose our wants upon this person, even though this person may not want to be here. My want and my need for you to be here so that I don't have to be uncomfortable is more important than you being uncomfortable. That's how a lot of people look at suicide. They call it selfish. You're selfish. Why would you want to hurt people like that? And it's not about you. You don't have to take it personal. Yeah, maybe there, could have been there more for people. Maybe, you can talk to people and actually, not shut them down and validate their feelings when they come to you for help. Like a lot of people I know in my life. And they just tell you, why are you so negative? It's hard to speak the truth in life because people will call you negative and think, they'll call you delusional for pointing out something that's true. Yeah, nobody asks to be here. Yeah, people are depressed. Yeah, life sucks. But let's just all have children and somehow everything will fall into place. I don't understand people's thought process. I really don't. If you're collapse aware, or if you've spent most of your life depressed, if you have some mental illness, or some genetic disease or something, and you are well aware that you've had a rough, miserable life, I don't know why you think it's going to be different for your offspring. The wages are going up a little, while everything else in price is skyrocketing. I don't know what your justification is for it, but you have a lot of wishful thinking by thinking that your kid is going to come out and be some sort of Beethoven or some, magical scientist that's going to cure cancer and solve climate change. Or as they say, you should just call it global warming because climate change kind of just downplays, the direness of it, how dire the situation is. Some of you might not be aware, but things are looking pretty fucked in terms of the climate. They had COP28 last year, and everybody basically said,
hey guys, we are not going to change anything.
Yeah, we realized that shit needs to be done. That we need to be changing how, we burn fossil fuels and how we basically run everything. The grid, cars, our whole society is so centered around fossil fuels. And I understand why it's going to be hard to change. But if we don't change, then there's nothing we can change when it comes to the end of it all. But it's okay if humanity's fucked anyways. Like I always say, we did to ourselves. We did to ourselves. How many times have climate, scientists come out saying that, hey, we need to be doing something different. We gotta be changing how we live with the world. We gotta be making, educated, informed decisions. If it's an inconvenience to people, people are not gonna do it. People don't want to be inconvenienced. People don't want to stop eating meat. People don't want to stop driving their cars. And I understand in America, most of us don't really have a choice. You need a car to get around. I'm so tired of car-centric America. I sold my car last year. No regrets, but I work remotely, so that's a privilege. Not everybody has that privilege. But if I can live with just a bike, I would prefer it, because you know how much money you save by not owning a car? The maintenance, the gas, the insurance. I'm already saving at least $125 a month by not having to pay insurance for a car. Life is a gift, but I have to pay for everything. Literally everything. Water is not free. And I can't live without water. So, don't come here telling me that life is a gift until necessities are things that I don't have to pay for. I have to pay for necessities. A literal necessity that I will die without in a matter of days. But no, this is more important than my life. Or anybody else's life for that matter. If you don't have this, you might as well just go die. Because nobody's gonna value you. Nobody's gonna see the value in you. You might be a person, and like they said, life is a gift, but you ain't got no money. Why the fuck are you here? That's the ramble that I started on. I haven't even gotten to the core posts. 2023 has been a rough year for a lot of us. Lots of people lost their jobs. It could always be worse, as they say, but it could always be better, as I say. I'm a pessimist, though, and if 2023 has taught me anything, it's to know thyself. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with how you're feeling about things. Embrace all your feelings, the good and the bad, because it's a part of life. And I don't understand people who forcefully push out the negativity and think that, negativity is bad, or you might call me a pessimist. But I just think I'm a realist. I see things for how they are, whether, it makes me sad or upset. It is as it is, as they say. It is as it is. And there are just some things in life that, are already predetermined. Some things we just can't change. Life is unfair. It is very unfair. This world is not good enough for my offspring. Not good enough for me to bring a person into it. Never mind the fact that I just don't want the responsibility of raising children, because that's a lot of work.
Most of my friends who are parents, God bless them, spend a lot of their time talking about how much they don't like having kids.
I wouldn't say it's like the most fun job, because it's like overwhelming, but it's a beautiful thing, and it's like nothing cooler for me.
Yeah, a lot of people have kids and they don't even think about it. And they look back and they were like, I didn't have to have kids.
No,
I've seen what it does to parents, and it makes you gray early. And as Seth Rogen said, it just doesn't seem that fun.
People describe having kids, as like brief glimmering moments of beauty amongst a sea of pain.
I have a daily reminder upstairs. His name is Tucci, and he runs back and forth whenever he wants to, because he has some neglectful parents, I guess. I don't know. I hope they don't have any more kids, because they apparently don't know what to do with their first. Another reason why I've been depressed recently is because I can't fucking sleep. What is life without sleep? If I can't sleep, everything else falls apart in life.
I have nothing left to lose.
You lose your beauty. You lose your sanity. You lose any gratitude that you have, really. Because sleep is it was the one thing that I was looking forward to, and now that's been taken away from me by my upstairs neighbors. Sometimes you wish you could just shove Tucci back up his mother's coochie. It's my favorite line. If they can hear me, I don't care. They probably should hear me, so they can understand where I'm coming from with all this shit. Like, just because you have kids doesn't mean that you can just let them run around and fucking ruin other people's lives. Because that's what he's doing to me. He's ruining my life. I cannot sleep. I don't enjoy being home sometimes. Like, when the kid is up, I want to die more than usual. Been bringing back suicidal ideation. Well, not bringing back, it's been around. I can't sleep. Enough said. When you have a bad night's sleep and everything else just feels worse. 2 times, 10 times worse. Yeah, that's the predicament I'm in. But good news is, I'm supposed to be moving to Colorado in March with my boyfriend. Hopefully, the change of scenery will turn things around. But I've been trying some coping mechanisms, and people who are positive about life They have coping mechanisms. We all have coping mechanisms. My boyfriend doesn't agree with this, but I think everybody here is coping. We do things to distract ourselves from our meaningless lives and existence, whether it's religion for you, or a hobby, or your job, thinking that, you know, having a career is going to bring fulfillment to your life. And from a nihilist perspective, or from a realist perspective, life is meaningless. Yeah, okay. My parents fucked. I'm here. What now? Oh yeah, wage slavery. The gift of life? Yeah, you gotta pay for that. You want some water that you will die without? Gotta pay for that. You want to live in a shitty apartment? You gotta pay for that. You want to make money, but you need to find a way to get to work? You gotta pay for that. Nothing in this life is given. Nothing. I'm surprised they haven't started charging us for breathing. Oh, you want some oxygen? You gotta pay for that. I don't even know if we can consider breathing free, because it's not like the air is any fresher these days. Carbon dioxide content is just skyrocketing every fucking year. Fires. I don't even know where you can get the freshest air on the planet anymore. These trees. Only gonna do us so much good until we've burned them all out. You know, can't replant an entire forest in a matter of a year when climate change is burning them at the same time. I became collapse aware last year, and I guess it was like around the time that I fell off from making videos. Didn't really make me any happier, no, but did give me like some relief that maybe hopefully one day this shitstorm of a society will be broken. Maybe we can rebuild something new. Or maybe I'll just finally die, so I don't feel guilty about doing it to myself. I don't expect you to agree with a lot of my opinions. I don't expect you to watch my channel, so if you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave. And if you do decide to comment something hateful, thank you, because that's good for my engagement, so go do that. Go do that right now. But anyways, my haters, despite this predicament that I'm in, or as people want to call it, a rut, depression, whatever. If they call anything depression when it doesn't agree with their narrative, I guess, or if it's somehow negative, or if it goes against the grain. Oh my gosh, you're just depressed. You know, I always say, I don't like working all the time.
Sounds like depression.
I don't find work fulfilling. I don't have children.
Sounds like depression.
I choose not to argue with those people anymore. One thing 2023 has taught me is that I don't have anything to prove. I don't. You know, either you agree with me or you don't. That's okay. That's just how we work as humans. That's just how life is. You don't have to agree with everything. I mean, there are certain things that are like deal breakers to me, like if you don't think people should have autonomy to their own bodies, then I just straight up don't want to be friends with you. I'm not saying you deserve to die for it, but I don't think you're a cool person. I don't think you're worth hanging around or trying to understand. If you don't think women should have autonomy over their own bodies, but men should, or vice versa, or, you know, just in general. Consent is very important to me. And that's why I've decided to go vegan. I say vegetarian because sometimes I don't want to be an inconvenience to people, mostly the rest of my family, who's mostly vegetarian. Bake a cake with some eggs, or if there's some cream in the icing, I'm not gonna lose my shit over it. But I choose not to make these things at home, and that's why I say vegetarian. But yeah, I know somebody in the antinatalist subreddit had brought up, if you guys are antinatalist, wouldn't it make sense for you guys to be vegan? And at the time, I was already thinking to myself, like, yeah, how can I say that I want to prevent suffering, but won't apply that to the animals? And yeah, I know some of you have this God complex where you think, oh my god, humans are more important than animals. We are the top dominating species. Yeah, we are the top dominating species. It's a draw of luck. It's not like, you know, we were chosen by God or anything. We evolved. We have hands, we have legs, we have brains, and we can communicate efficiently with other people. Just because an animal wasn't born with hands and legs doesn't mean that they have any less right to live here than we do. Just because I can shoot a gun and they can't doesn't mean that I should be killing and taking away the lives of all these other animals. Because life is a gift, am I right? But not for those animals. No, they don't deserve life. Only we do. Only humans deserve this planet. All other life can go fuck themselves, because I don't know. We're better than them. That was a bit of a ramble. But I'm a rambler because I don't talk much. I've been finding ways to cope. I've found some copium for myself when days get harder than usual. I've been on a streak though recently with my exercise, so that's been keeping my mood pretty regular. I've gone off of birth control, but that's a whole different story. I'm gonna do a video on that, but some very exciting stuff. Well, you know what? I'll just say it. I got sterilized last year, so that's one good thing that came from 2023. Feeling forever grateful, and I'm gonna do a video on that one day, sometime soon, to be honest, because I don't want to forget the deets. I was scared, sure, and I was anxious. It was pretty smooth, you know. For a surgical procedure, I feel like I only really needed a week to recover. Of course, my stitches still hurt, and I still had restrictions on lifting weights and working out too hard. But like I said, I will do a video on that. This is what happens when Christianity meets depression. Is it possible to die by praying for it? All I want is to be gone right now. I have prayed for it, but gotten nothing. Every time I pray, it's like I'm talking to myself, and God doesn't even exist. He will help others with their problems, but never me. And when I cry myself to sleep every night, I think he doesn't even notice or just ignore. If he can't help me with my problems, then the most loving thing he can do to me now is to take my life. Which he doesn't care enough to anyways. Oh God. Keep praying for death, and sooner or later your desire will be fulfilled. Death is the one thing prayed for we know will always be granted. Facts. You're going to die. It's okay to think about it sometimes. It might be scary, you know, it's on the other side. I don't know. You don't die and come back because then you never died. You're either dead or you're not dead. You don't come back and then say that you died because you're still alive. One of my worries is reincarnation. I'm not a religious person in the slightest, but some stories of kids recalling their past lives, it's been very perplexing to me. It doesn't mean that it's true. It doesn't mean that the kids didn't get the information from elsewhere. It doesn't mean that the kids don't have a wild imagination or something. I don't know everything. I say that all the time. I don't believe in absolutes. I'm not an expert. I'm not the most intelligent person on this planet. I'm just a person with perspective. I like to think about things that make other people uncomfortable. That's me. That's all it is. I don't know everything. I know that if God does exist, he's either useless or he's evil. Or he doesn't care. You know, like one of those three. Because why is he just letting us stand around here and suffer while he's watching little children get abused and, you know, the worst of stuff happening on this planet? But he's nowhere to be heard, nowhere to be seen. Where he at? Where my homie at? We need you, God. We need you. We got shit going on down here. Like, at least help the children. You might say, yeah, adults, you know, some of us, maybe we can fend for ourselves, but innocent children, there's no justifying the horrible things that happen to children every day. Abduction, rape, assault, trafficking, kidnapping. As humans, yeah, we have this complex where we think that we are entitled and we deserve this planet, we deserve children, we deserve this and that. I'm like wholeheartedly believe that, you know, everybody's basic needs should be met. Like, otherwise, why are you bringing other people here if your basic needs can't even be met? That's not any life to be living. Where's God at? Where is my homie at? And for people who need him the most. God, in my opinion, is for, you know, people who need something to cope with, people who are weak of mind or poor. Most rich people don't even give a shit about God. They say it in writing, you know. Donald Trump says, oh yeah, I'll go to church. I read 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians. Same thing for Hillary Clinton. Hire elite people who say that they're Christians when they believe in God, but I don't really think they do. Like, how often do they go to church? How often do they actually practice the teachings of Jesus Christ? How often do most Christians practice the teachings of Jesus Christ? And another thing about, like, all of this is Christians who think that you need to be having kids and birthing kids and bringing them here because it's the Lord's will. You know, like, if we're all sinners and you're born into sin, why not just do the best for your kid and, like, have them never have to experience being a sinner? Just leave their souls in heaven. Why do you have to bring them down here to experience this hellhole of a place Because as you say, this world is not my home. I'm just a passing through, waiting on seeing Jesus one day and he's coming back and yada yada. Like, okay, you're stuck. But why are you gonna bring your offspring into that as well? But I don't really expect much from religious people. You don't critically think your way into believing what other people tell you. If you just go along with the crowd, it's not really critical thinking. It's because your parents told you when you grew up in that and that's all you ever know, that it must be true. You know, if it's true, then question it. You know, and if it's true, you'll come back to the same conclusion. If you're a seeker of truth, that is. You will come back to the same conclusion, so why are you so afraid of looking at other opinions, or looking at other perspectives, if it's true? I'm just saying. How can I really pray to die and have God grant my request? Me too. I don't like it here. Every day I wake up, but I feel frustrated and suffering painful unconditionally. Why God doesn't let me die? I pray every day to take me. God doesn't care about my request. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. Why God doesn't take me away? Just let me go, please. Or please. Is praying to God to die wrong? I'm gonna buck the common perspective and say no, it's not. How can it be wrong for someone who doesn't want to live to ask God to die? Isn't that the most natural and logical conclusion? The reality of this situation is people don't ask to die if they understand the true value and potential of their life. People only ask to die when they've lost the ability to see a reason to live. Do you think God doesn't understand that? I dipped into depression very badly a few years ago. I actually reached the point where I think I was days away from doing it. Like most people, I always swore I could never reach that point. I'm not brave enough to go through with it. But every day that went by, I was inching closer and closer, and I knew it was only a matter of time. I used to cry, and in pure agony say, "Just kill me. I don't want to be alive anymore." Do you think God's response was, "That's wrong"? Or do you think his response was empathy and compassion? Buddy, how have you gotten yourself so lost in darkness that you can't even see the value of life? God is compassionate. Oh well, not to those kids that have been abused. Not to me, not to people who've died in horrific ways. Not to the people in Palestine. Or the women and the children because of Hamas in Israel. So, we always like to pick and choose. You know, if all you do is focus on positivity, then you don't live in reality. Yin and yang, there has to be both. And you can't just pick and choose one and ignore the other. There are two sides of the story. If I'm burning alive and I yell, "God damn it," and in pain, do you think he is concerned about the blasphemy or the fact that I'm in pain? Christians will say it's the blasphemy. Saying his name in vain is more important than what you're going through. If I'm begging God to kill me because I'm ignorant of how much my life is worth, how valuable I am, and how much potential I have, my employers don't see my value. Most people who employ you don't see your value. If there's one thing you take from this video, take home with this video is, like I said, know thyself and know your worth. Don't let people walk over you. Don't be a people pleaser. You have this one miserable life. At least do what you want. And if you don't want to see your parents every week, don't see them every week. If you want to move out, move out. If you want to play video games after you get off of work, then do that. I don't think there's any point to chasing the corporate ladder for trying to make as much money as you possibly can. Or becoming the richest person in the world, because even the richest person in the world doesn't think that's enough. As I say, happiness is a choice. You know, you can delude yourself into happiness, or you'll probably be miserable all your life, which I'm well aware of. I don't think I'll ever be happy. But I'm here. You're welcome, Mom. You're welcome, Dad. You're welcome, familia. I'm here. Aren't you so proud of me? You can't be feeling at life if you're alive. And people say it's the bare minimum. Me no care. Me no care. Sure, it's the bare minimum, but I don't even want the bare minimum. So that's a lot to me that I'm still here. And if you're still here, that's cool too. I'm too worried about how other people will feel when I'm gone to do it. I can give them that at least. I'm in no way here trying to promote suicide or promote ending one's life, but I wouldn't call it weak or selfish. I'm so lost in the darkness of despair that I've come to believe that that's all there is. That's the wrong. Not that you are wrong, but that the situation is wrong to live in. It's ignorance that got me there, and it's ignorance that keeps me there. The only thing that turns off the darkness is the light. God is light. When people contemplate these kind of things, is God mad at me over this? Does God think this is wrong for me to do? It all keeps us in that darkness because we become afraid of going into the light. We think that if we go into the light and all of that junk is exposed, God is going to shame us or condemn us or guilt trip us. How could you say such a thing? He's not thinking that. This is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but people love darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. Good and evil are human concepts. Life simply does not care. Honestly, the whole basis of life in a human context would be evil, because we have to eat living things to be alive. We must continue killing plants and animals so that we can stay in our own miserable lives, working 9 to 5, throwing pollution out into the air and ruining the planet. Did you know that we have hurricanes made of plastic now? What have humans done for this planet? In a good way, should I say. We've done a lot. When you say done for the planet, I guess we haven't done anything for the planet. But we've done a lot that has affected the planet. People love darkness and hate light because they expect light to bring shame by exposing our most vulnerable and embarrassing bits. But light makes it so that we can see ourselves as we've always been, so we can accept that we're not as blemished and worthless as all the other people in the dark told us we are. They probably think I'm one of the people in the dark. I'm not saying you're worthless, but life is meaningless. And again, you can cope your way into thinking otherwise, but the truth is, we just happen to live on a planet that can sustain life. We have water, we have all the chemicals needed for us to breathe, for all of our processes to work, and so we're here. Do you think there's any meaning to animals fucking all the time and reproducing and having their spawn go everywhere? Some of you might say, yeah, they do that so that we can have food to eat. God put the animals here for us to eat. That is so sad. That's fucked for the animals if that's true. And God created these animals. They're conscious. They can feel pain. They know when they're being fucking stabbed to death. Okay, they know they have a bullet wound in some part of their body. They know, that they're miserable being stuck in a pen that they can't even turn around in. And thankfully, the U.S. is trying to pass some laws now, or I think some state, it might have been California, they're trying to make it a little more ethical. Well, at least the animals, they can turn around in their pens now, so they're not suffering their whole entire lives. Life is fucked. It's fucked up. You might disagree with me, I don't care. It's fucked up. The whole truth of it, you cannot be alive without taking lives. Whether it's plant lives or animal lives. Some scientists say that plants also are conscious, and I'm sure they want to live too. That's how we were all wired, to choose life, whether we want to or not. Is it really free will if that's just what's wired into us? Are you really choosing to have kids? Are you just doing that because you can and it's in your biological processes and that's what everybody else can do? Just gotta question some of these things that are normal to us, just because they're normal to us, and just because it is as it is doesn't mean that it's right. It's like how owning slaves at one point was right. Nobody was really questioning it then. Just because it was normal at one point doesn't mean it's right. A lot of thought processes. Let me just finish this article, because I talk too much, but I guess that's why I'm here. I'm here to reach like-minded people who maybe have the same thought process as me, because it's hard to find y'all in regular day-to-day life. Not that I go outside, but with the people I've met so far, because I do know people. I do have friends, and even so, my current friends right now, they don't get most of what I'm talking about. Being an anti-natalist is frowned upon by most people. It's a mental illness. It's depression. It makes sense. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it makes sense. And you can say that you agree with something. You don't have to take the whole thing. Like I said, I don't think it's morally wrong to have kids, because morals, they're made up by humans. Ethics is also a human concept. But because we can think about these things, and we have the ability to implement them, it's our responsibility. Just like how it's the responsibility of whoever has the power to use it for the better, it's our responsibility to use our power for the better. And to use this brain that apparently God gave us, but some of y'all don't want to use yours. That's a waste of a gift in my opinion. And think about these things. It might make us uncomfortable, but it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's a part of life. You can't just go through life and avoid suffering. Suffering is inevitable, which is why I'm not having kids. I don't want anybody to suffer. That's why I decided to go vegetarian. I don't want animals to suffer. I don't know who really values suffering. If you do, probably a coping mechanism. Or I don't know, maybe that's your narrative. It's okay. I'm not trying to invalidate how you feel. But most of us, would rather live without it. Most of us would rather not suffer. To me, happiness is the absence of suffering. No, we will never be a utopia. That dream died hundreds of years ago. No, if you ever want people to be individuals, to think for themselves, and to have rights, it can never be a utopia, because people are always going to have different opinions. Utopia would take everybody thinking the same. Is it wrong? That's irrelevant. What matters is that you're wanting to die. And the only reason you wanting to die is because you're not seeing the light in life. In that case, right and wrong don't matter. What matters is that you run to God so he can flip the lights on and set you on track. That was quite a read. I don't think I got anything from it. If I pray to God continuously to end my life, does God give me death? I found out a friend of mine has cancer and I was so jealous.
Oh my God.
I have asked for cancer countless times, but only other people get cancer instead of me. I hate my life and I hate this world. I'm glad I'm a gun owner because one day I will finally be so fed up. I will take my own life and I will leave this shitty world behind. I'm jealous of your friend having cancer. That's rough. That's worse than where I'm at. I would never pray for cancer. That sounds like a horrible way to go out. I pray for death, but my conditions are it must be peaceful, painless, and quick. If it's not any of those three, I don't want it. It's gotta be painless and quick. Otherwise, I'm not asking for it. I don't want it. Like I said, I don't desire pain, and that's why I'm still here, to avoid hurting myself, potentially, and hurting my loved ones. I just pray that they will one day legalize euthanizing people. What's the point of forcing people to be here? Other than, to make more money off of their misery. And so they can go to work and continue to sustain their lives. So Elon Musk and every other billionaire that, I don't know, for some reason really needs that money. They don't seem fulfilled to me. They seem like they want more. Like it's never enough. As humans, we definitely have to figure out when enough is enough. Because you can keep chasing things even if you're at the top. There's nothing wrong with progressing or wanting to do better for yourself. There's nothing wrong with wanting to grow as a person. Like that's work, it's something you always gotta work on. Nobody's ever done with the work. I'm just saying, if you're the richest person in the world, like what more could you want? Why would you want more money after that? It just doesn't make sense to me. You're already the richest person in the world. Why do you need more money? You gotta take the money from all the billionaires too, I guess. I don't know what that process is like. I just want to be comfortable. I wish money wasn't even a thing. Wish we didn't have to clown around in this circus for made-up wealth, made-up value. Nothing really valuable about some dyed green paper, but because society says we need it and we should have it and it's valuable, therefore it is valuable. And if you don't want it, then there's something wrong with you. Like, can we just go back to the barter system or working in communities and, people actually not having bullshit jobs and helping people? Because while I appreciate my job, why do I need to be doing quality control for AI? Why does it matter? Why are we working on AI instead of fixing other issues that are much more important, like the homeless crisis or the climate crisis, sex trafficking? Like, there are so many issues. Hunger, the Palestinians in Gaza. But no, none of that matters right now. We need to work on AI so that, I don't know, it can steal your jobs and make y'all more miserable, or I don't think we need AI. I don't think we need it. I'm jealous of your friend who has cancer. That's fucked up. I can't. I would never wish cancer on anybody. Is praying to God to die wrong? I have done this. It was probably the best thing I ever did. By praying to God to kill me, then I came to the realization that if God doesn't kill me, then it is obvious that he has stuff for me to do still. Or maybe he's just not up there. He doesn't exist, That's a nice narrative to turn into, yeah. There's still stuff for you to do here. He has a plan for you. Praying to God to kill me ironically gave me the purpose in my most depressing of times because it shifted my control to God and thus stopped me from taking my death in my hands and instead placed it in the hands of someone else. Someone who knew when the right time would be. Until the right time, I have a job to do. Like telling you to keep on living. Well, at least most of these answers, even if they're from Christians, are not, berating the person who asked the question. So, yeah, I appreciate, being nice to this poor suffering person who is praying for death. God answers prayers, but he does not always give you what you want. Rather, he gives you what you need at the moment. If you pray for patience, he will give you chaos to practice. If you pray for death, he may give you something to live for. I start to, get tired after I read a lot of religious stuff, draining to me because I have too many questions for religion to work for me. Like, my dad was never able to answer any of them. Nobody who's like seriously religious has been able to answer them. Yeah, God has a plan. You know, we have free will. Free will. That's why kids are getting assaulted and groped and shit. Yeah, that's why horrible things happen, because of free will. But it's okay. We are here on trial. And if we do well, then we get to live in heaven for the rest of our lives, happily ever after, praising the man who brought us here in the first place. God was a little too angry to be somebody to look up to, in my opinion. He said, fuck. I hate these people that I created. Let me wipe them out. Let's start over again. Consciousness is the root of all suffering. And pain doesn't matter to you as much if you can't feel it or if you can't process it. It starts with consciousness. And prove me otherwise, I would like to be proven wrong. Everything starts with consciousness. That's why they say ignorance is bliss. And you're happy to not question anything, and if you just accept things as they are, you're better equipped to fit in with everybody else. And once upon a time, fitting in was like something that was good. It helped us survive because people do well with other people. There's no such thing as a lone wolf doing well. It's hard living by yourself. You're always gonna need somebody else for something. You can't do everything on your own. We need other people. Be a one-man band. Brandon Urie. It's hard. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's super hard. Water break. Job, the man that God held up to Satan as a righteous man, wished he would die. Can't blame him. God let Satan do some fucked up shit to him just to prove his allegiance. What is the point? If God knew his mind, as he supposedly knows all of ours, what convincing do you need? If you knew that Job was gonna do it anyways, why make Job go through all that in the first place? It doesn't make sense. A lot of this just doesn't make any sense. If it doesn't make sense to you, it's okay to question it. Use your brain. It was given to you for a reason. Use your God-given brain and think. It's okay. The world will not fall apart if you no longer believe what you used to believe. You know, probably fall apart because of overpopulation and the oncoming collapse and wars that are inevitable, because that's what we do. We love to fight. We humans, we love to fight. When there's peace, it's boring. We gotta see people dying somehow, somewhere, every day. Somebody doing some fucked up shit. Yeah, to most of us, you know, rational thinking beings, the shit that goes on that, you know, other humans do is horrible. But at the end of the day, it's human nature. And nobody wants to, you know, we don't want to claim those parts of humanity. Because, yeah, they're not something to be proud of, but it's a part of human nature. But they exist for a reason. It's because it's a part of human nature. It happens all the time. It's not like a rare occurrence. Yeah, it's rarer than going to work and driving and sitting in traffic and living a regular normie life, but it happens all the time. Just because it doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It's a part of human nature. It just is. And so that enough is also another reason why I've chosen to forego motherhood. I can't control what happens to other people. I can't control other people just in general. Nor would I want to, but there are just some horrible people out there that do some horrible things. And they don't care if it causes you pain or trauma. As humans, our worst fear is other humans. That's always going to be the case until, I guess, we find aliens or something. But yeah, a lot of these are a little too religious for my liking. Like, I don't want to read all of these. You'll die when God wants you to. But if you're suicidal, just know that God can pull you and your life out of that pit while you're alive on earth. God had us here to be the hands and feet of Jesus, which means to live for him and spread him like a wildfire with the unique ways he gives ya. If you're still breathing, he ain't done using you yet. So I guess if you die, God has no use for you anymore. A lot of these narratives are like really, like when you think about them, they're fucked up. Like, why would you think this? Using you for his glory because he is not strong enough to come down here and do it himself. He has to use other people to get shit done. Also proud and you want to speak for God and this and that. I'm just, it's kind of pathetic to me. It's kind of a sad God in my opinion.
I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Puny god.
And he gets offended about things you say about him if you say his name in vain. He needs to use you because he can't do anything for himself. He had to use Jesus.
Puny God.
I'm God, but all I do is sit on this throne and order people around. I mean, yeah, I guess that's some godlike behavior. Ordering people around just because you can, but is it kind behavior? Is it fair? Why would you tag this God as loving or worthwhile in the first place? You have a God-given purpose. If that ain't something to live for, then nothing else is. Remember, Jesus saves, and God still wants you. Because I said so. God couldn't tell you himself, but he speaks to me. But he's super powerful, but he can't tell the rest of everybody else. Like, if God's got a temper, no, I just use that temper and come out here and just tell us all to shut the fuck up.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature.
Or say, look at me, bitches. I exist. I exist. You were saying? But he leaves it up for question, and he really leaves it up for question by letting horrible things happen to the most innocent of creatures, whether that be animals or humans. And God doesn't give a shit. Bad things will still happen to you, even if you have a good heart. A good heart, like I said. Nihilism, meaninglessness, tags that humans give things. Does this mean that, I don't think horribly of certain things that happen to people? I don't think anything good comes out of suffering. I came out stronger for it, and now I'm the strongest person I know. I'm the strongest I've ever been. Okay, and what now? My aunt says that we choose to be here. We chose to be on this planet. The horrible things that happened to us, we chose those too. I guess we didn't read the contract or something before, consenting to come into life, even though I don't remember consenting to be here. But yeah, somehow we chose this, and grape victims chose to be graped, which is awful mindset in my opinion. But there are a lot of people who believe that, yeah. We're just here to experience life, the good and the bad, the highs and the lows. What for? I don't know. Because if you have consciousness, and is it really that boring out there? Are you so bored that you would like to come to Earth and be traumatized? Not to mention the whole idea of reincarnation. Okay, so if I get reincarnated, why can't I remember anything from my past life? Wouldn't it make sense for me to remember the mistakes I made so that it would be easier for me to correct them? But no, you want to give me a clean slate and make me try everything again. This time I might not come out as a Hindu, I might come out as a Christian, and so I will never learn from reincarnation because I don't even know it exists. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. I subscribe to things that make sense, and that's why I call myself a realist. Because there are, just like I said, certain truths in life that you cannot refute. Well, you can refute them, but it's delusion. Cope however you want to. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. If it's helping you, that's fine. Do whatever you need to do to get through life without hurting people. And preferably hurting animals, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, just a lot of what we do, I don't think is free will. People have a taste for meat because that's just what they've been eating for centuries. A lot of things that we do in life that are normal to us, we don't question. But I choose not to continue this cycle of suffering and trauma. The trauma ends with me. My mom thought that, I was traumatized as a kid and a lot of shit happened to me, but it'll be better for my daughter. Okay, yeah. I didn't have to go through her type of trauma. I still went through different types of trauma and suffering. Suffering comes in many different forms. And this is not like the suffering Olympics. Shut the fuck up, Maya. I wish I had your life. So why do you get to complain? My life, my narrative, you don't know what I'm going through. It doesn't matter if you wish you were in my position. It doesn't invalidate anything I've been through. Like I said, different forms of suffering. Some are worse than others, but suffering is suffering. This is not the suffering Olympics. This is not a competition. Your goal in life to compete with people and to tell them, no, I've suffered more than you. Shut up. I've suffered more than you. I don't know what the point of it is. It's like telling somebody who's depressed, it could be worse. Do you tell that to cancer patients? It could be worse. Don't give up. It could be worse. That is not any way to deal with people's pain. And to those of you who hate the anti-natalist community always telling us to kill ourselves, I want to stop the cycle of suffering. Well, then why don't you kill yourself? I thought about it. It's a very loving, kind answer. That definitely makes people want to be here more. Telling them to kill themselves. Some very loving people I've come across in life. Try not to be a misanthropist, because a lot of the times people just don't know what they're doing. Like I said, I don't believe in free will. In or out of religion, like we're all slaves to our biological processes. I could say, yeah, I want to live the rest of my life without eating food. But that's not possible. Unless you're a breatharian, I guess, and I don't even know like how concrete those claims are. Anybody can claim they don't eat and they just breathe in food, but science would say otherwise.
I don't know why you always have to be judging me, because I only believe in science.
Sounds like magic to me. How do you support all your organs and your bodily processes without nutrients and protein, carbohydrates, sustenance? What if you pray to God to kill you? Will he do it? Hello. I would say no. The lack of knowledge of us men, sometimes we ask God to take our lives for some reason or other, for being frustrated, tired, angry, etc. However, God knows everything even before we are born. And he knows our future, and not to mention of the plans that he has for all of us. So I would suggest to trust him with love, faith, and we must be patient, because he loves us forever. He will organize your life, it's precious to him. Think on the stories of Joseph, son of Jacob, about Job's life. Both stories are amazingly painful and tragic, but the Lord always was with them. God bless you always. But yeah, I'll probably be ending the video there, because I've been talking for an hour and a half. I forgot to set a timer, because I haven't been doing this in a while. Like I said, I'm setting up a schedule. No promises, but I'm gonna try to be more consistent this year. Mostly because I want that moolah. Tired of working for the man. And so, I can just go and work for YouTube instead. Slave my days away so that YouTube can demonetize me for speaking unpopular opinions and using cuss words. There's no way out of the rat race. I guess there's a way out, but work is work. And you're gonna work for the rest of your entire life. Whether it's working for yourself or working for other people. Some of y'all just want babies and little kids running around, but you don't think about when they become an adult, because they don't stay babies forever. Thank God for some of you. Like the regretful parenting sub, bro. Some of y'all be struggling with babies and toddlers. But yeah, we will one day grow up to contribute to society, or become a wage slave, more than likely. Somebody who works all the time to live. Because life is a gift, right? Life is a gift that I had to pay for. Surprise! We gave you this gift. That'll be like $500,000. I don't know. What does it cost to live a comfortable life in America? Welcome to life. You have to pay for everything. Oh, you need water. Where's that moolah? You can't be here without moolah. You don't have worth without moolah. My mom says life is meant to be enjoyed, and I believe that. Or maybe it should be enjoyed, I guess. I don't know about meant. There is no purpose to it. But it would be nice if everybody could enjoy their lives. But for a serial killer to enjoy his life means that other people are not going to get to enjoy their lives. So not everybody can. Not everybody will. Capitalism needs people at the bottom to be struggling. Capitalism needs people to exploit. Nobody's gonna work for pennies if everybody has their needs met. Nobody's gonna work for pennies if I have my needs met. Why would I do that to myself and make myself miserable working for pennies if my needs are met? Why would I go and work for Billy Bob for a measly $7 an hour, or in some developing countries like $2 a day or something for a living, if I have everything I need, if I don't have a family to provide for? Consider some of my words, or don't. I don't know. I'm just happy you got through the end of the video. Appreciate you people sticking around with my negativity, nihilism, antinatalism, and approaching veganism. I'm planning on reading a book called Suffering-Based Ethics. Really excited to see if I can pick up anything from it, but at the very least, I enjoy learning. Cope however you want. There's nothing you really need to do in life. Fulfilling life is however you make it. And if you don't want to be here, that's cool too. Like, no judgment to people who have taken their lives. Life sucks. It really does. Even if people will try to gaslight you out of it and tell you otherwise. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Life is so special. It's like, yeah, we're rare. At least in our solar system. We're rare, but It doesn't mean that it was good that it happened, or that we're going anywhere. I don't know if any of you have watched Expanse, but I'm just like, yeah, if we turn on anything like that in the future where we're colonizing other planets and shit, we're gonna bring the same problems that we have here there. So it doesn't matter where we go. Humanity's problems will follow anywhere we go. Technology will not save us. AI will not save us. I don't know why AI needs to tell you that it's wrong for you to be insulting somebody, or it's wrong for you to be hurting somebody. Like, it should be common sense. The older I get, the more I find that common sense just isn't so common. Maybe we shouldn't call it common sense anymore, because it's not. It's not common. Thank you for watching. More to come. I don't know when. I'm considered to be like Corey Kenshin, you know? He comes and goes. It could be months. It could be days. Could be years. Who knows when I shall return, but I'll be here. I'll be here having a good old dandy time on planet Earth, giving away 40 hours of my life every week to people who don't give a shit about me. And most of you probably will be too. My out!